Good evening and welcome to the March 26, 2026 meeting of the Yorktown Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is John Meisterich. I chair the board. With me tonight, our new member, Michael Rambaran.
Rambaran, yes.
Rambaran. Anthony Tripodi, Bill Gregory, Nazreen Corey from the building office, and our attorney, and I already forgot your name, I'm sorry.
Ruben Borman.
Ruben Borman. Okay. So our first order of business here for tonight is to approve the minutes from our February meeting. So I sent a copy out, very brief. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So if you're here under a new business, we have basically site visits potentially on April 18th. You might have to do mailings. If you're here on a new application, you will have to do mailings, and those mailings must be sent between March 30th and April 8th. You need to post a sign on your property, a picture of the sign, and provide us with a certificate of mailing and a copy of the notice. So Nazreen here will be more than happy to help you with any of the questions you have on that. Okay, so moving to our agenda, new business, fanning. I don't even see anyone here after all that speech. So we'll circle back to that.
Well, that's it. We set it up for.
Yeah, actually, I don't think the person needs to be here. So what this is a renewal for a special use permit for a chicken coop at 3147 Old Yorktown Road. So what I will do is make a motion to refer this to the building department, set it down for a site visit on April 18th, and a public hearing on April 26th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we just have to get in touch with them, make sure that they do those mailings and et cetera, and expect us on the 18th. Okay, so our adjourned agenda, Yorktown Community School. Come on up to the podium and just state your name and for the record, please.
Yep. My name is Mary Beth Fay. I'm the director of the Yorktown Community Nursery School.
Okay, so you're learning a bit of our process within the town, but you know
Yes.
the zoning board approves the special use permits, but the planning board does most of the legwork on the technical details of the operation,
Yes.
parking, you know, so forth. So I have a memo. I think we had a few memos in the past, but that they weren't really ready. But now I think you've been actively working with them. And I'll quickly just, you know, read the memo that they provided for tonight.
Okay.
So I have a memo dated March 23rd from the planning board. The planning board has reviewed the subject referral and has the following comments. The planning board recommends that a town board resolution be adopted to delineate the parking area along Veterans Road as YCNS parking only during its hours of operation. Signage reflecting this is also recommended. Number 2 is to provide a parking schedule on the site plan, including both on and off-site parking spaces. Number 3 is to propose improved signage for the school zone as well as the crosswalk on Veterans Road. Item number 4, Yorktown Town Code Section 300-53 requires that a traffic study be conducted. The zoning board shall determine if a study is necessary. Okay, so, and reviewing the minutes from the planning board, it looks like there's still a little bit of information and work to be done as far as they're concerned with more or less the parking signage and potentially a resolution from the town
Correct.
that, I guess, grants you the rights for any town right away, if there is such.
Right.
So the one item that they did note here is about the traffic study, and that I guess they're saying that they'd like to hear whether we feel it's necessary or, potentially grant like a waiver type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that the school's been in operation on that road for 78 years now.
So that's
So-
kind of the study unto itself is
Yes.
really what they're getting at. So I guess the only question I really have for you is there any material, earlier in past meetings, you basically stated the enrollment's not changing, the drop-off's not changing, the physical plant is not changing.
Correct.
It's just the day is being extended from nursery only to what constitutes a daycare.
Right, till 2 o'clock.
Till 2 o'clock. So currently, what is the time? The drop-off?
11:45,
So it goes from whatever in the morning.
9 to 11:45. Now it's going to go 9 to 2
11:45,
is what we want to be able to do.
So, personal opinion in terms of the traffic study, something you guys could maybe hear me out or decide as I'm wrong, but if they're only extending the day from 11:45 to 2, and everything else is, it's all, the study is the existence theorem of this thing, right? It already exists. We don't have a room full of people saying there's traffic problems and all these other things. So I'd be inclined to waive it unless,
The population basically is going to remain the same.
Yes.
So you're not going to have an increase in the number of people.
No. The building can't hold any more people, so we wouldn't be able to
And
do that.
at what number are we talking about?
So it's 44 in total right now, but they all don't even attend on the same day. So the most anybody would be there in a day is 32 children.
Okay.
Another thing too, if you're only extending to 2 o'clock, you're avoiding all the traffic, 5 o'clock and whatnot. So it seems like a tranquil time of day. I'm not far from there, and I go by the building quite often. I've never seen anything that resembles a traffic issue there, so I'm inclined with John to waive it.
So I'm not sure how to handle exactly this, but I'll make a motion and we'll vote on it. And if they
Okay.
need a memo or something, I'll send it to them. But, so I'll make a motion that, given that the changes in the operation do not involve any increased enrollments or increased traffic, only a slight change in time to existing existing pickup from 11:45 to 2 p.m., both of which are not considered rush hour. The motion is to waive the traffic study that is required per section 300-53 of the town code for Yorktown Community School, referencing this special permit application. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so at least you don't need the traffic study.
Okay.
But as far as everything else, we're still gonna wait for the planning board to basically say they're, I don't say happy is not the right word, but you have mutually agreed with all the kind of requirements and stipulations that they're talking about in the memo,
Okay.
other than the traffic study.
So do I go then back to the planning board again?
I assume,
They,
yeah.
I believe that they have some questions concerning parking, drop-off, that they elucidated at the meeting
Yes.
that they had with you last time.
Yes.
And I guess they're asking for some answers to those questions, as well as apparently some kind of approach to the town board for resolution on some of the drop-off areas.
Right. So do I make that approach to the town board or the planning board
I
does?
would think that you would,
Okay.
but
great.
my suggestion is to call the planning department and find out basically how they want to handle it,
Okay.
so that they may want to do it in concurrence with what you are doing.
Okay,
Or they may say, you make the first step and we'll follow up,
okay,
okay?
Yep.
All right,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adjourn this application to our April meeting. Do I have a second?
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
okay.
Okay, we'll
Thank
see
you.
you
In April.
Thank you.
Mendoza ready?
Is Mendoza? I guess they didn't do mailings.
Do the mailings.
No.
Okay, so we're here for Algaba. This is an application to create a new accessory apartment that requires a special use permit per 300-81 of the zoning code. Premises is in an R1 20 zone. This memo has to go back to the other file.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. I've got it.
all right, so if you don't mind, just state your name for the record.
My name is Joaquin Algaba. I'm the owner of the LLC that purchased the home,
Mm-hmm.
and, we're trying to make it better for the neighborhood. So fixing that up a little bit, and since it has the space,
So we did a site visit on the property and noted that it's, under construction, so to speak. And he took us through the apartment, and it looks, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't really see any issues with the way it's set up. It's all enter from the back, it doesn't, some of the things that we look for is, are you creating the appearance of a two-family home?
yeah.
Two front doors and, so the size looked fine, it complies in terms of the law as far as I could tell.
We do have a memo from the
Okay,
building department.
so we'll read a memo from the building department to see if they noted any items of concern here.
That is community school. I don't see anything in there, but I'll give you the one that I have.
She's got a flag right there.
Memo? There we go.
Try to label.
Okay, so this is from our building inspector, Steve Frietta, March 24th. Application for, he said renewal, but it's actually not a renewal as far as I can tell. I've inspected this property on March 24th, which has an active building permit to create the apartment as well as renovation of the existing dwelling. I have no objections to granting the special permit. A certificate of occupancy will be required upon completion of the project. So in terms of the apartment, as far as we can tell, it's fine. The parking looked good. You said you might expand it anyway.
I might, but if
Yeah.
it's not necessary, you saw how big the driveway
Yeah,
is.
it complies, let's put it that way. So, now, you said you have a permit to create the apartment, but I'm not sure that that's the case without our permit.
So
Yeah, he has the permit, they're doing inspections, and then once we issue the C of O,
Is it like something that you can't put the stove in or something like that?
no, so
No.
actually, the apartment was existing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I
Okay.
applied to legalize the apartment and get a permit.
So the only issue really for us in terms of the law is that one of the units has to be owner occupied.
Understood.
So today, an LLC owns it, but I don't know if you're the president of the thing or something, but no one's living there, but you are occupying it in terms of you have the keys and, control the property, right, so to speak. So, but the issue is transferring the ownership,
Well, it would have to be a renewal of the permit,
yeah.
correct? But it
So
wouldn't
at
have to
that
be a
point,
building process.
No, you don't, you just come to us.
Mhm.
When do you anticipate finishing the construction?
I couldn't tell you. I'm actually doing the work myself, but I would think May, sometime in May.
Do you intend to occupy or have somebody occupy the building in May?
So, as far as I know now, it all depends on, the numbers. I might end up moving there. Like I said, I live up the street. I might end up moving down there and renting my house and renting the apartment. It's all gonna have to do with mathematics,
Okay.
numbers.
Yeah, so whenever the title transfers, then a renewal, whoever
Uh-huh.
gains the title, whether it's you personally or someone else.
Well, I own the house anyway, right?
Well, it's like an LLC owns the house.
Yeah,
How many
but
members
I'm
are in the
still the owner.
LLC?
What's that?
How many members are in the LLC? You and,
My wife.
okay.
Okay, so you and your wife are the members of the LLC, and you basically don't live in the house presently.
Not now because we acquired the house through auction and it was a mess. And
I mean, it's not living, it's occupying, right? So like
Well,
occupying is owning and being in control of it, right? That's
No, well,
Well, and
essentially, the
interpretation,
intent is that basically the owner's
Yeah.
gotta live there.
right. Like once the house is done, so to
Yeah.
speak, it has to be owner occupied
I understand.
If
for the,
you, if
for
in
the
fact,
apartment.
if in
That's
fact,
the bottom line.
right, bottom line is that if in fact you're going to have, and I understand a member of your family may be moving into that
Mm-hmm.
unit, one of the units. I'm just trying to figure out, and the reason why I asked you about the end of the construction. Obviously, if you meet the conditions of the ordinance,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this board, I think, is amenable to granting the variant, the special permit. The physical plant complies. It doesn't, so the only thing that we need to be sure of is that the owner of the property
Occupy it. Yep.
has to occupy it, and he has to occupy one of the units.
Understood.
You can't
Okay.
rent both sides of it.
No, I
That's the-
understand that. Yep.
Ultimately, that's what you
So I'm
can't
just
do.
trying to figure out basically how we should handle this, and again, that's why I wanted
I mean-
to ask you.
Well,
when you
if
wanted
the
to
house were
finish
to
it.
sell, for example, somebody would have to apply for a renewal of the permit to use it, right?
Correct.
If you ever sell the house or transfer title,
Mhm.
then that would trigger a renewal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be considered an administrative renewal. not
However,
renew.
to get the permit, you have to get out of the LLC. Because the LLC cannot, be substituted for individuals occupying the property. So you almost have to do a transfer
Well-
of title from the LLC to you and your wife.
The house is owned by us. It was just bought under an LLC because it's.
Now,
an
a house is owned by an LLC legally. To get it, I understand what you're saying, because, it's a pass-through entity, and a lot of people think, I'm a sole members of the LLC, or there's two members, therefore, we own the house. No, it's the LLC that owns the house, and I don't know if we're technically in compliance with granting an application until there's been a transfer of title into individuals
Mhm.
who own the house. That we might have to clarify.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I mean, I find it hard to kind of believe that we've never had either a trust or something that was quote unquote the owner, as long as the person who controlled the trust was actually the person living in the house.
I don't recall
Yeah, I don't know.
ever seeing
No,
a trust or an
I just-
LLC. We just might have
Um,
to get an
I mean, it
opinion
says
on that.
owner. I mean, what?
Wanna get
Obviously, you're here trying to do the right thing, so we're not trying to make you out
Yeah.
to be like doing the wrong thing. It's just this technicality in terms of the
understand.
law. So if you were to not get this permit tonight, while we awaited like a memo from our attorneys on this LLC thing, like, would that create a hardship for you?
So basically, I'm waiting on the permit to be able to build the kitchen and
Well, that's why
everything-
I asked that question, because the memo says that there's an active building permit to create the apartment as well as renovation of the
Yeah.
existing building. So, yeah, I don't want to stop you from finishing that kitchen.
If I can't, if I don't, so basically, if I build the kitchen and I don't get a permit, special use permit, I don't know if that's even like,
Yeah, you're correct. Your thinking is correct.
Yeah.
That you could probably proceed and complete the apartment, but it can't be occupied until you're in compliance with the rest of the
yeah,
law,
well, then it'll be
which
a waste-
requires that it's owner occupied
it'll
and
be
not
a
by an
waste of
LLC.
space.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about, let's say a builder is going to build a brand new house and he wants to make it with an accessory and, put that second kitchen in. He needs a building permit to do that. And what this applicant is representing is you can't get the permit without the special use permit for the accessory.
Yeah.
But nobody's occupying anything at that point, and it's kind of like a quirk in our law that says you need a permit to put the second kitchen in, but you can't do that unless you're occupying it. I don't
Exactly.
want to have somebody in this thing where they can't ever, and this wouldn't just affect this applicant, it would be any builder that's trying to build something like this. So, and I can't imagine I can't imagine that hasn't been done before. In other words, a house built with the accessory, but nobody's living it until the builder sells it. So, I mean, we
Well,
could
I
either
would-
say
I-
like, direct the building department to grant the permit, or say,
Well, in order for the applicant to be successful, he's got to be in compliance with the statute, which
Right.
requires it's owner occupied. And owner occupied, an LLC is not considered a person or an individual.
Mm-hmm.
but how would a builder
I
ever
think-
build a
Is it possible to grant the permit?
And deny occupancy until the special permit is approved.
Right.
Well, it may be that, like I say, the applicant will not be successful until they move in and occupy the premises.
Or-
So,
or
it's
do you want to
contingent,
condition it
yeah.
on that?
That's what I'm thinking.
But I think he needs a little bit more guidance as to whether or not I'm gonna go forward and complete this, and then be
No,
able,
Of course, I'm gonna complete it.
Yeah.
So regardless of
So-
the fact, if the special use permit is approved and the house, for whatever reason, is sold, let's say, the new owner knows he has to renew the permit, but the apartment is already in
but
the
I'm
building, right?
thinking this way, that if you complete it, now
Mhm.
you have an LLC in ownership. You can't really occupy the accessory apartment until the owner moves in. So what you're saying is that the LLC now turns around and sells the property to individuals who are gonna occupy it. Now can they use the special permit? On a transfer of title, though, I believe we have to, once again, approve the,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
yeah,
We
so
have to
it is
renew-
doable that way. But, just
I mean,
don't
I
want you to.
think we should just grant it, make it subject to owner occupied, one of the units,
All right.
once a CO is delivered. And we could also make this like a 1-year thing, and that way we can sort this out in a year once you'll know who owns it, who's gonna own it. I
Mhm.
mean, if you sell it before that, then the person has to come.
Absolutely,
don't,
but that's,
We'll come back in a year and figure out.
yeah, it will definitely be done
like
before the
that.
year
Do you
ends.
think that's all right?
I think it would work.
Yeah.
I think it would work. What we're gonna do, I think what John is basically saying is we're gonna absolutely limit, we're going to give you possibly, depending upon the vote of the board, we're gonna give you the special permit for 1 year, okay? Which will give you the time to finish the project and basically, figure out how you want to
Yeah.
arrange the ownership of the property so that it comports with our regulation.
Right.
Okay? And it'll be subject to that.
Understood.
So that basically, at the end of the day, if that particular condition is not met, then we're going to come back and basically withdraw the permit
Yep.
itself.
And we'll also ask our attorney for a written opinion on this issue of an LLC that's owned by people, or I need a little more clarification, not just for you, but like any builder that's building something and we have,
Yeah, because
wanna put a
there's
second
tons of them,
kitchen
right?
in.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
or do we even amend the law to, attempt to amend the law to allow like this kind of scenario? So, but for tonight, I'll just make a motion to grant the special use permit for an accessory apartment at 1786 Maxwell Court, subject to one unit must be owner occupied, and grant this for a period of 1 year. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I
Good
think
luck.
that's our best way of doing this.
perfect, I
All right.
mean, you know.
Yeah.
So then I would have to come before the year and,
Well, if you sell the house or transfer
Yeah.
ownership, come, or come in a year.
or
and-
the owner would have to come, right?
The owner
Yeah.
usually comes as a contract vendee once you
Yeah.
go under contract.
Uh-huh.
And with a change of ownership, it has to be reapproved.
So I would have to come with the new owner, basically.
Not necessarily.
They could come,
They can come on their own.
Okay,
even if they're in contract.
great,
That would speed it up for them, you know.
that works perfect, I mean,
I think it'll
Okay.
all work out.
all right, thank
All
you
right,
very
thank
much,
you.
gentlemen. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
night.
You have a good evening.
Okay, so that concludes our agenda for tonight, right? So thank you, everyone, and good night, and happy spring.
And happy birthday.